Welcome back to another episode of Health, Healing, and Holiness. I'm your host, Kristen Owens, and I am excited today because we are talking about one of my favorite topics to help you, the entrepreneurial kingdom woman who is looking to really move through your day with ease and flow, removing the grind and the hustle and the striving that really will weigh down not only your body, but your spirit and your soul. So are you one of those women that you walk into a room and maybe you forget why you entered the room in the first place? Are you one of those women that feels periods of fatigue throughout the day, maybe that 3 p.m. slump? Maybe you have a hard time waking up, so you go for the caffeine. Maybe you need something to keep you going through the day around, the 3 p.m., like I said, and you're like, oh, to get me through that day, I need that, maybe it's caffeine, maybe it's sugar. Are you craving carbohydrates? Are you craving sugar? Do you find your energy is low? Are you finding that you're experiencing more PMS, or maybe you're in perimenopause or menopause and you've got symptoms that are just not desirable? Maybe you're having a hard time shutting your brain off and it's hard to focus on where you need to focus when you get home, but your mind is where you were earlier in the day. Sister, you are in the right place, because today we're going to talk about 3 things that are going to help shift the health of your body to help bring you into a place that you are able to go through your day with ease and flow. Simple things that you can do that is not grown in a laboratory or made in a laboratory, but comes from the earth that God has created. So stay tuned for this episode that is going to help transform how you go through your day, combating stress, even when you think you handle it well. Stay with me. We'll be right back. Welcome to Health, Healing, and Holiness. I'm your host, Kristen Owens, daughter of the King, mom of 3, and 3 decades in the health industry. I've learned not only the importance of building healthy foundations with simplicity, but also making heavenly principles the ultimate foundation for success. Let me guess, you're a goal-getter, ambitious, driven, and your health has suffered, and your relationship with Christ, well, it almost feels non-existent. Let's not talk about skipping meals, drive-through runs, and caffeine to get you going. No need to worry, sister. I have the solutions for you. It's time to prioritize health and holiness as your success strategy. It's all about healthy, simple foundations that can change everything. I mean everything. Ditch difficult, embrace ease with a dash of Godspiration. Grab your hot bevy, hit play, and let the good vibes and Holy Spirit wisdom flow. Let's dive in. All right, sister, grab your pen. We're going to get started, and we're going to talk about how your body was designed to deal with stress. Your body, God created your body to heal and repair. That's what we're designed to do. Stress has become chronic in our world and our environment, physically, mentally, emotionally. Stress shows up mentally by the things that we think, the negative things that we think, what we're speaking to ourselves, the people we're hanging around. Are we treated well? What are people saying to us? And are we working too many hours? The environmental stressors from the glyphosate that is sprayed on the food that we're consuming, that is really creating dysbiosis in our gut, from the traffic that we're driving in, from the toxins in our food and in our water, from what we're putting on our skin, to the emotional stressors that we have, financial stressors that we have, for young people that are trying to figure out what they're doing in their life and the things that are happening in the world. I mean, there is so much going on. However, we have not been given a spirit of fear, but of power, love, and a sound mind. So today we are talking about the physical body, the body care. However, I want you to understand that stressors are coming from everywhere. A lot of people don't realize this. I'm not saying this to scare you. I'm saying this because when you understand all the places that stressors come, toxins come and build up in the body, this is where our stress nowadays is actually considered chronic. God designed our body to heal and repair from stressors that are short term. So the stressor comes, you get into a fender bender. You are dealing with an exam and you're in crunch time. You have a project at work that you're dealing with that is not never ending, right? It's short term stressors. It happens. Your body is able to deal with it because of the adrenal glands that are glands that sit on top of your kidneys within the back of the body. They release adrenaline and cortisol. When the body is under stress, they're released from the adrenal glands. The body deals with that stress by shutting down digestion, by making the heart rate quicker. The idea was that when we get into this short-term stress, we handle it quickly and we're out and we go back to normal. But nowadays, that's not happening. Why? Because we have so many stressors that our body was never designed to deal with. So, what can we do as women in the entrepreneurial space, as maybe you're listening to this and you're, someone that is working a job, and maybe you're a CEO, but you have many hats you're wearing, because women nowadays, we have many hats. And this is where I know that God has placed in my heart, part of my calling is to help you be able to protect yourself so that you are able to go through your day with ease and flow. If your body is not protected, if your body is not supported, that is not going to happen easily. And I'm all about the ease and flow. So your digestion shuts off when you're under stress. Your cortisol raises. And when cortisol is high for too long, this is where we start to notice that one of the reasons why we're having a hard time releasing pounds, right? Our blood pressure is elevated. Our eyes become dilated. Our energy goes to the working muscles for us to get out of that situation. So the problem arises when our stress hormones stay elevated for too long, which is what we're seeing nowadays, and inflammation sets in. Inflammation is the root of all disease. If you have a health condition or you have symptoms in your body that maybe are new and are not something that you've dealt with, there is a root of inflammation. And one of the things that I do in my practice working with women is I help to fan out that inflammation. There's a healthy amount of inflammation, but what we're seeing nowadays is there's much more than our bodies are able to cope with. And so we're aging and we're experiencing a life that is really not a thriving life. So I'm here to help you. And in my one-on-one consultations, I'm here to help you get to a place where inflammation is kept at bay. And there's many things that you can do. We're going to talk about 3 things today to help you. But it is possible to get to the place where you are thriving and not just surviving. Okay, ask yourself that question. Are you just surviving? Do you know that most people don't realize how good they can feel? How good they can feel until they actually feel better than what they're feeling today. I hear it from so many women. So, a mental stress, emotional stress, food sensitivities, physical stress, environmental stress, like the things that I mentioned earlier, we need to remind ourselves that we are not living in a bubble. So, what are 3 things that we can do to help ground ourselves, to ground our nervous system so that our immune system works better, so our gut is happy, because all disease and all health begin in your gut. Whatever health condition, no matter how serious it is, or maybe how small you might think it is or consider it is, right? We need to make sure our gut is working optimally. So number 1, balancing your blood sugar. When our blood sugar is out of balance, which for a lot of women that I see nowadays, especially those in midlife, blood sugar is so important. If you want to feel your best, you need to make sure that you have elongated that blood sugar curve. So when we talk about blood sugar, this is where, for some of you, maybe you feel that, if you haven't eaten, in a certain amount of time, you start to feel shaky, or you start to feel lightheaded, or you start to feel hangry. Have you ever heard the term hangry? So blood sugar is going to be the foundation. This is one of the things I do with women in my one-on-one coaching, is the foundation for you to allow your hormones to work optimally so that you thrive instead of just surviving your day. It doesn't matter what your age. So when your blood sugar is irregular, you will crave sugar. You will crave caffeine. If you haven't eaten in a period of time, what's the first thing you're craving? It's probably not salad. If you're stressed, what is the first thing that you're craving, right? It's sugar, it's caffeine, it's carbohydrates, and not the carbohydrates that are healthy for you, but the ones that are going to make you have quick energy and then will cause you to crash. Okay, so here are things that you want to make sure that you're avoiding and that are going to help you tremendously. You want to eat 3 meals a day. Okay, I'm not going to get into the intermittent fasting right now. I'm just talking generally speaking. It's very important in a window. You are eating 3 meals a day. You want to make sure that you have a protein. There's protein in there, right? Protein is going to elongate your blood sugar so that you are fuller longer. You are eating until you're satisfied. Okay, so you're not eating until you're like, oh, I'm full. You're eating until you're like, you know what, I'm satisfied. Sometimes we have to train ourselves to know what satisfy is, because maybe you grew up and you were told to eat everything on your plate and you only know what feeling full is like, and that's what your brain is telling you that you need to do and be every single time you eat. Okay, so your body can only digest a certain amount of food, and if you're eating too much, you're going to be tired afterwards. You're going to be sluggish afterwards. It's actually not going to be supporting you. It's important to make sure, so protein, you have carbohydrates, healthy carbohydrates. They just may mean a ton of vegetables if you're eating meat, for example, and you're eating healthy fats. So, we could go into a podcast just on those individually. However, I want you to take away that you're eating the 3 meals. Please, let's stop skipping meals. It will destroy your hormones. Your gut will not be happy about this. If your hormones are out of whack, it's going to affect your gut. If your gut is out of whack, it will affect your hormones. So any kind of hormone work that I've done with women, guess where we go back to? Is our gut health. Now, we want to avoid coffee, or I should say caffeine, on an empty stomach. If you're used to drinking coffee in the morning on an empty stomach, what I encourage you to do, that's going to be more stress on your adrenal glands, the stress gland. You want to make sure that you are consuming your coffee, if you need to have that coffee, within the hour that you've eaten. So if you eat at 8 o'clock in the morning, for example, you can drink your coffee within 8 to 9 o'clock window. And of course, we want to make sure we're getting more fiber. Where does fiber come from? Hemp seeds and chia seeds and flax seeds. They're coming from vegetables, and if you're eating whole grains. So fiber is important because we are not consuming enough fiber in our day. Fiber is also going to help keep you satiated. Okay, so that's number 1. Number 2 is we want to make sure that we are normalizing our cortisol levels, and using adaptogens are great. I've been teaching on adaptogens for many years. Adaptogens are basically plants that help your body adapt to physical, mental, and emotional stress. They're not going to boost your immune system, for example. They're going to bring your body back to balance, because your body is always looking to find balance or homeostasis. So adaptogens, if you're way up here, and you don't even realize it. Sometimes you don't realize it, that you're way up here and you're kind of, and sometimes you do, right? You're stressed. Sometimes to you, that is normal. And you don't realize that there's a detriment to your body when you're constantly up there. So the adaptogens are going to bring you back down to balance. If you're low, your energy is low. I'm sure you know what that feels like. It's going to bring you back up. So if you need energy, adaptogens will naturally allow your body to have energy, not artificially, naturally. Okay. So what can we use? There's many different adaptogens out there, but I want to specifically talk about, and I talked a little bit about it in my last episode, so we will continue, is functional mushrooms. So there are different functional mushrooms that are out there: turkey tail, chaga, reishi, lion's mane, tremella, and they each have an affinity for cordyceps, for example, is great for stamina and energy. Doesn't mean that the other ones don't give you that. No, but this one is definitely, if you're an athlete, if you're somebody that needs that, cordyceps is great. It's excellent for before a workout. It's excellent in the morning, right? It can actually, I've seen it actually shift people from needing coffee to using cordyceps. It's really important to make sure with functional mushrooms that you have a therapeutic dosage, which is why I use the company that I use, which is Aversio. Check the links in the comments because you can get a 15% discount by ordering from them. They are amazing. They're a Canadian company, and they actually have the research to back it up. They are one of really the only company that I've found that uses therapeutic dosing. This is when you're going to see the results versus other companies out there that I've used over the years, and I really didn't notice much of a difference. I just knew mushrooms were doing me well, but I didn't see the changes, and this is different. So if you are somebody that is looking for, immune, chaga is great for that. Turkey tail is amazing for tumor prevention. It's amazing for protecting your brain and your immune system. These mushrooms have many, many different benefits, but again, when you're using reishi is great for nervous system grounding, calm. It's like calm in a jar, calm in a capsule. Stress. If you are one of these people, which I believe we all need this, but if you are one of these people where you're like, I know I'm dealing with extra stress, you need reishi. If you want to sleep better, reishi. Lion's mane is amazing for focus. The research on lion's mane and the brain. Our brain is neuroplastic. We call it neuroplasticity. Your brain changes. Science has confirmed that. God knew it all along, but you can actually use functional foods that will actually help to shift your brain and change it in a positive way. Because anything that God has put on the planet and is not being tampered with laboratory or chemicals or this sort of thing, and it's actually from the earth, God created that for a reason, to help your body. He knew what was He knows the end from the beginning. He knew what our world would be like in 2024. And I believe He's given us these companies that allow us to educate ourselves, to learn what is out there that can support us. Now, mushrooms actually should be grown off of bark, wood, not grain, okay? They need to have their therapeutic properties, and they need to be pure and potent. Very, very, very important, okay? Now, in terms of their nutrients, everything that is coming into the mushroom is coming from the bark, from the wood, okay? That's where they're getting nutrition, just like a plant. If the soil is eroded, if the soil is depleted, then the plant is depleted. If the mushrooms are growing off of grain, the nutrients will not be there, and therefore we're not going to experience the nutrients. Okay, so it's really, really, really important to make sure that we have mushrooms that are growing off of wood. All right, so let's talk about the beta-D-glucan. Beta-D-glucan is a compound in the mushroom that actually stimulates killer cells. It is an adaptogen that will actually help your body adapt to the stressors that you are experiencing. Balance. We are all looking to find balance. Now, listen to this. This is beautiful because this proves, if nothing else does, this proves that we were meant to be consuming these beautiful foods. Our cells contain receptor sites to allow certain things in that are meant to be enter into the cell. Okay? So for example, our cells, they contain millions of different receptor sites. Our cells contain receptor sites that match these beta-D-glucans that are found in mushrooms that have tremendous benefits. Your receptor cells, your cells have receptor sites that actually allow the beta-D-glucan to attach and bring it into the cell. If that is not a sign that we are meant to consume these, I don't know what is. So if you are looking for food that is going to help you move through your day, to support your brain health, to support your hormones, to support your gut, to support healthy skin, your immune system, your mind and your focus and grounding you and support and stress and sleep and just feel better, functional mushrooms will help you to do that. And I'm excited about it because this is life-changing for those of us that have a busy life, those of us that want to be our best, those of us that want to show up in our business on point every single day. You can now do that. Last but not least, I wanted to share the 3 things that happen when your body is under stress that you probably didn't know. Number 1, when you are stressed, your body uses more water. You need to be drinking adequate amount of water a day. You need to make sure, because your body loses more minerals, vitamin C, magnesium, B vitamins when you're stressed. So you need to make sure you're consuming more food-based products or even foods that are higher in vitamin C because your body recognizes them as food versus taking ascorbic acid that's made in a laboratory that your body does not recognize the same and it does not utilize the same. Magnesium, making sure that we are having enough magnesium in our body because our body, when your body is stressed, it uses magnesium. And if there is no magnesium, it will pull it out of your bones. It's going to pull, the body's going to pull what it needs from your body. But the problem is we end up becoming depleted. And that's a problem because that's when you start to feel even worse. And then, of course, our B vitamins. Our B vitamins, a great place you can find B vitamins in food is dark leafy greens. You know, if you follow me for any length of time, you know I talk about my dark leafy greens. So important because there are naturally occurring B vitamins in leafy greens. And then last but not least, we burn through this fuel more quickly when we are stressed. So this is why when I see women, I will always make sure that they are using a full fulvic acid mineral liquid because we need to be replenishing our minerals because our soil is depleted and because our body is under the stress that it is on a day-to-day basis. We need more. It's very different than it was 5 years ago, 10 years ago when our grandparents were around. And can anyone guess what stressed spelled backwards spells? Can you guess? Desserts. As I said earlier, what do you crave when you're stressed? How many of you crave salad? More vegetables, right? We don't. Most people don't. They're looking for a quick dopamine hit. And this is why, people are doing Starbucks runs. They're doing, they're going to the kitchen and baking. They're eating the chocolate candy bars. They're eating the chips, and that's a common thing. So if we can get to a place where we are avoiding the stress and we're supporting our body, we're not going to experience that. It's not just the way it is. A lot of people say, well, it's just the way it is. That's just the way it is. But it's not just the way it is. There are things that you can do always. There are ways that you can help yourself age better and prevent dis-ease. Always. I've lived it. I see it in the women that I work with. I've worked with women that are going down a road that is not desirable. They have symptoms, a lot of the common symptoms that you probably are experiencing, those listening or you've heard of, and we can change it because you have millions of cells in your body. They die and regenerate. Just right now, 10 million cells die in your body, and just right now, about 10 million new cells were recreated. And in 7 years, you can have an entirely new body, all because of your taking care of your body care, your soul care, which is your will, your mind, and your emotions, and your spiritual care. They all go together. That's how God designed us. So if you are someone that is listening to this right now, and you're saying to yourself, I need support in this area. I need someone to walk me through and help me to be accountable, because you've done all the things. You've bought the $47 programs. You've got all the freebies that are offered. You've done the meal plans, but you're still in a place where you're just not thriving. You are in especially, your business, your career, and you're just feeling like you need that support because you're not really getting to the results that you're looking for. You know what you want, but you just can't seem to get there. That's where I come in. That's exactly what my calling in is. And yes, we deal with this physical body, but we need to also look at the mental, the soul area, the will, the mind, and the emotions. Your mind plays a huge part in why this isn't happening. And I will tell you, it's challenging for you to do that on your own. I know, because I've tried, and it doesn't work when you do it on your own. So if you are somebody that is looking for support, one-on-one coaching with me may be the answer. I don't take every person on because it really is a specific person that is willing to do the work. The woman that's saying, I'm ready to change. I'm ready to do what I haven't been doing. And I'm ready to have somebody help me in this area. And I'm ready to do the work, because it's not always easy. What's easy doesn't get you results. What's easy doesn't get you results. I'm not here for the easy. I'm here to help you get the results you're looking for. I've done it with many women, and you're no different. So if this is you, definitely in the description below, you can email me. You can follow me on my social channels, but email me, and I'd be happy to jump on a quick discovery call to find out and discover if this is for you. But until next time, thank you for listening. I would love it if you would rate the podcast, give it a written review, and I look forward to seeing you on the next episode. Until next time, have an amazing day. If this podcast inspired, encouraged, or blessed you in any way, the number one way you can help me is share with a friend or fellow entrepreneur. Number 2, leave me a review over on Apple Podcasts. And number 3, take a screenshot of this episode and share on your social channels. And make sure you tag me at Kristen Owens Wellness so I can share on mine. And we can help more people together. Thank you so much for listening. See you next time.